This is the flagship online station.
Yeah.
Frontline Radio.
You already know what it is. Big shouts out my man, Mr. J, the Makaman on the outside. He couldn't make it in the studio today, but it's just Verse One and myself, Silas the coach, international party host. You know what it is, man. Right now, we got family in the building, man. We got family in the building. We got my man Trx. Yo, Trx, where you at, boy? Yo, what's good, man? This right here, one of the big homies, man. Doing a big hip hop movement. This is how we doing it, man. Hey, Trx, tell them about your group, man. Tell them about your group. Your movement.
What do you want to know in particular?
I want to know what's the name of the movement? Like what's
the Stylordz network is like the actual incubator of artists. When I say artists, I'm not talking about music, dance in particular. Just the individual expressing themselves. People have progressed in different fields.
So what different fields do we have there for the
breaking would be the primary.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Thing. We pioneered along with some people in T-Dot.
Okay, that's what's up.
Things as far as interlocking combos and threads and etc. You know what I mean? There's things that the Canadian scene, and we were primal in the initial stages.
That's nice.
Back in the say 1990s would be the primal stages.
Okay. So how many people you guys have with you? Like as I would say, the ringleaders in this movement. How many leaders? Yeah. Like how many
we
people
don't really
are
see it in the sense of ringleaders, but I would say that it's an interconnected web of individuals, you know what I mean, that has been linked through me or have at one point worked with me. That has always been in connection in one way or the other, or join up together on future projects. For instance, let's just say I end up judging battles in different cities.
Right.
Or people ask me to come and instruct at a university or at a college.
Right.
Or I work on people, bring them inside the studios and stuff to work on stuff. Same thing as usual, you know what I mean? On my end is I've always been working with people. I do my own thing too also, but because of my views in particular on the music industry, etc.
Right.
I wouldn't have the view of how could I put it? Conformity.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we set out, it was never ever with the intention of, you know, the record label thing or all that kind of stuff, although there's individuals that have, or etc., even with the breaking field, etc., because we're always an incubator. That's why it was always named the Stylordz Hip Hop Network from number one. It wasn't called Stylordz Rap Group or the Stylordz Dance Group or the Stylordz this. It was called the Stylordz Hip Hop Network.
That's awesome.
Hip Hop Network. Stylordz because it's like everybody expressed themselves individually. Like let's take Whiplash for instance. He ended up doing the Lords of the Ring thing. Behind the scenes, he toured up Canada. Even Jester had some board back in the say 1990s, but it definitely in 2000, just before Supernatural era.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So how did you get into this? Like what made you take the step into like reaching out and forming?
Well, at first like I was into like art drawing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I was into martial arts, you know, but I was like fanatical, you know. I have a kind of a compulsive quality to myself. Like I just keep going. I don't know.
I hear you.
You know what I hear you. And it's been like that. What I'm doing now, if you go back 10 years ago, and if you go back 10 years before that, and if you go back 10 years before that, even back when I was in Montreal, you know, I would still be doing the same thing.
Okay.
Right? But it would be trained. But the breaking came because, you know, it was simple because, you know, there's a lot of agility in martial arts, right? You know what I mean? Flipping, running off floor, running off the wall, backflip, landing your head, all kind of stuff. So shifting to breaking was not really that complicated.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. So what was the biggest challenge that you've come across, say, being into the breaking and all that?
What do you mean by biggest challenge?
Like adversity. What's one of the greatest adversity that came across you? Like what is the big obstacle that you, like one of the biggest obstacle you face?
Well, the biggest obstacles we faced, right, has already passed. Like I was a part of a generation of the initial stages. Like my intention to break was like a form of pathway of energy. You know what I mean? Like I mean, back then, you know, for instance, like say everybody's in football and they're into basketball and that's right. Back then, I went into breaking because it was a rare thing and I wanted to drive my energy in breaking. It challenges your every instinct. You know, flexibility, strength, reflex, thought. You know, if you one slip, something could go wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
And So it was like it was looking at like that, you know, every way you put it. You know?
Yeah. I hear
and
you.
that's the style Lord was because there was no form to it. It was whatever, you know what I mean. It's not like specifically
free expression.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So what's your most memorable moment? Like your first break and when you know like you could do this, like this is what you wanted to do.
Well,
like when
I
did
knew
you
it
get
about
that?
1990 would be when I was like getting serious into it, kind of. You know, Black Shamrose and Shacker and Chief Rock and who else was there? There was more people, Mergum and stuff.
Okay,
you know, there was a place
yeah.
called Easy's where we used to promote and the thing got big. We ended up doing a music video with Nicole Jacqueline. There's other people in Hamilton who was doing things too.
Okay, that's awesome.
But it really, I wouldn't say it got serious. There was more like a local kind of thing at that time. And then around 1992-ish to 93-ish, let's say, me and Chief Rock hooked up with two peoples. Would be a person named Triggerman and a person named Peach, the Viper Trooper.
Okay.
We linked them together. So me and Chief Rock were instrumental in the formation of a crew named Ballyhoo Crew. Okay. Which basically ended up having stuff on the radios in New York City and got signed to a mini label.
All right. So you guys tour all over, man, all over Canada, all over the world. Like, what's your favorite place that you've been to? What's one of the favorite places?
My role in many instances, I've toured in, let's say, the 90s, the 2000s, and the early 2000s stuff. Well, let's say in the last, say, 4 years, I haven't been touring. Me personally, I haven't been touring. But you want to talk about certain people that have been touring? I mean, Charlie B has right now a song called Forever, reaching up to number 2 in radio station in France right now. You know, so it's like
that's crazy.
Be up there. And he's did a song with Surrounding last September. I can't remember the other people in the song, but he's been moving up in that sense. He'll be coming back to Canada sometime this year. You know, it all depends on how things go.
Okay.
You know,
Who is Charlie?
Charlie B. Well, Charlie B was an artist when I'm doing a project dealing with Stylordz Network of compilation part 1 of artists. And he's the one I linked up with. So I was the first one to ever recorded a song for him or brought him to the studio or did a music video for him or first one to actually tell him that he can make it. You know what I mean? Because up to that point, people were saying, you can't do this, you can't do that and thing.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
You should never. Yeah, you should never.
Yeah. So we have his first recordings ever type thing. You know,
that's
like
awesome.
independent
Exclusive.
recordings. Not him just freestyling on someone's beat. I mean, Charlie B stuff, his album.
That's
thing.
awesome. Yeah. Okay.
And ever since then, he got first place in Europe for reggae.
Okay.
Dancehall.
That's big, man. That's big. That's
ask questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how would someone that hasn't heard of you guys, that's interested, how would they get hold of you? How would they reach you?
Well, people get a hold of us usually through the site, but usually it's to the website or Facebook or MySpace, Stylordz.com, or anything to Stylordz, in particular, STYLORDZ. We're dealing with the Zulu Nation Northern chapter, you know, working on projects. You know, there's memberships that every once in a while we're like trying to gather members for the Zulu Nation, because Zulu Nation deals with the root of hip-hop culture. You know what I mean? And there's projects that we are working on.
Okay. You have any in particular off the top that you
off the top?
Yeah.
Well,
any projects that you're working with?
Documentary being filmed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
My project, you know, I was specifically instructed not to mention it. I mean,
there's a lot of little movements.
I have certain situations where there's certain people saying secretive things. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
Certain things I just tried, like I wouldn't mind saying, but there's a certain other people, other kind of, you know how individuals are.
Can you talk about there's a video, your latest video on YouTube.
Which one?
There's one. It's like
Zulu Nation.
The vintage.
Where you had a tape deck.
Okay. On the contrary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about that?
It's a really good project.
Yeah, that there. Okay, we called it On the Contrary because it was like just wanted to do something completely different off the wall. You know, so I cut my hair in old school. I know, but that's why I say On the Contrary. You know what I mean? Because like off the wall, you know, it's something that you're not gonna expect. You know,
right.
Because I'm more artistic level of things when it comes to art. You know, I express how I do it, when I do it, how I do it, etc. Collaboration, etc. But I've been instrumental in a lot of people's. Like I can't really name off all the lists, but you know, if you actually went down and check it out, you would see that there's actually.
All right. So what's not to interrupt, but so where do you see yourself, or what are you trying to accomplish in the next, say, 5 years? Because you told me the last 4.
Well, I've been working on basically the Fifth Element things in hip hop. You know, storing the Zulu Nation. You know what I mean?
Okay,
that's the main thing. You know, globally we've been putting. Like, if you look carefully, you can see a lot of the old school heads. You know, coming up and uniting. You know what I mean? Because my main thing was that hip hop is not being pushed in its original context. It's just dealing with a money thing.
Okay.
And you can take hip hop is like a library. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you go to a library and there's only about 5 books in there, then the library ceases to function. So
Right.
hip hop is like the conscience of the ghetto community, right? In a way,
Okay,
it's
okay.
a collective body of information that is thrown down, or not thrown down, but passed down
Yeah.
through entertainment or through art. And so if you have a library and it only has a couple topics, and then everybody,
Right.
you have all kind of authors, but they're still talking about the same topics.
Yeah, it get
and that means
watered
the library
down,
ceases
right.
to function.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? So like my and other people's perspective on art is just, express whatever comes to you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's real talk, man. That's real talk. That's what's up. Like we love that as fans, that you guys go back and try to get the essence of the root of what hip hop is, and means to a lot of people that doesn't have that chance to express it.
Yeah.
So we like that, man. That's awesome.
We're working on a CD, number 2, Zulu Nation North CD. It's already been, say, about 80% done, but I've had a obstacle, let's say, in the last little
Okay,
bit, that I
okay.
had to.
So when can we expect that CD though? Even though it's a little
Well, it's
obstacle.
a 212 thing for sure. It's always been a 212 thing.
All
Late
right,
212
all
thing,
right.
you know what I mean?
Well, I hope when you
But-
have it, man, you come
Yeah,
down to
it's
the
a 212
Frontline
thing, but
Radio.
it.
Okay. So if anyone knows any entertainment lawyer,
That's what
make
I
sure
mean.
you contact them. Stylordz, you know what it is, man. Hit up the website. There's contact information. You have some of the projects they've been working on. You can see the old school, new school look that they're trying to, educate you guys about. But like, this is real, man. This is hip hop.
If
This is
people
what we're
want-
about.
There's a rec center that we're working on. Like I'm in collaboration with Abba Center in Gibson, and
Okay.
we're basically working on a gym. It's not complete, but it'll be complete late April. Where if someone, for instance, you guys or somebody, any DJ, they want to hold an event, they can
Yeah.
actually go in there and talk and set up something, an event. It'll have a studio room. It'll have washrooms. It'll have a kitchen. It'll have an upstairs and
That's
downstairs.
amazing. Yeah.
So we're considering a basketball court. There's certain things, like I said, there's things that I could say, but
Yeah,
I
but-
don't like to say things, because things manifest, things don't.
Right,
And so I'm like a person
right.
where I'm the person, I've always done stuff, and then people saw what I've done more so than me coming out and saying what I do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, so that's like the kind of mysterious in that sense, I
Yeah.
just do my thing and then it just evolves how it does,
I hear you. But action does speak louder than words, and like I said, we've seen it. There's proof, and you've been well established, man, and we like that. Like, we like hearing positive
brother-
feedbacks, man.
Yeah, the thing is, the Zulu Nation North chapter, anybody interested in Zulu Nation, the advantage of being a member is just because there's radio stations globally of these Zulu Nation DJs that play people's music. So when I submit stuff, if your membership is stuff, and the music speaks for itself, and the DJ plays it, there's
I
like
hear
a
ya.
guarantee. In a way, there's a guarantee network of a distribution
Right,
kind of
right.
thing. You know what I mean? Membership could get you a shows at certain events, anniversaries and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. Yeah.
Anyone that's interested can contact me in that particular.
Okay.
I'll be sending in some end of this month.
Okay. So what is can everyone just hit up the website, their Stylordz, and would they get hold of you or?
Stylordz.com. Yeah, but check it out. So you get these cards here.
Okay.
Actual.
Oh, that's sick.
You know what I mean? You actually get cards. Same thing like birth certificate thing. Fully.
That's
you
big,
can see it
right
on
there.
the camera. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna come up. It's a
Know
little
what I mean?
delayed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you make sure you hit them up, man. You guys want lessons, you want insight, you want knowledge,
Like everything about us is in the fifth element. The fifth element is the teachings, even esoterically. It's in the teachings of hip hop. It's in the function of hip hop, in the development of hip hop, the growth of hip hop. It's never in the industry of hip hop, because we've always said the fifth element. It doesn't matter. There's been people that went forward, people that stayed where they were. There's people that succeeded, there's people that didn't. But everybody has, in one way or form, interconnected, just like a web, because all human beings are connected anyway. When you think about it, you know what I mean? So if people
that's
see
real.
hip hop in its original state, there's no reason why there's multi-millionaires in hip hop and there's still no hip hop ultimate label. We're still attached to master.
Yeah,
You know
true.
what I mean? And I don't know how to put that right, but
Yeah. No, you said it, man. You said it. That's what it is. And you can't say too much without offending certain people, right? But you said what you had to. You had to.
Yeah.
Right. So definitely, man. Shouts out Billy Bad. Billy Bad's on the message board, one of our bloggers, man. She's saying you're talking realness right now. She's a fan. Yeah,
Respect,
Billy Bad.
respect,
You
respect.
could check him out, man. We got the link on the website. I'll post it up on the wall. And definitely, you guys want to contact him. There's phone numbers, emails, everything on there, man. That's how we're gonna do it. But
Yo,
you know what it
respect.
is. You know, I want to thank you for coming through, man, sharing the knowledge. You know, giving us a different insight, different look.
Yes.
And I wish you all the success, man.
Oh yeah, respect to you. You know,
Yeah.
verse one. Everybody, you know, that's been doing stuff. You know, the Hamilton scene, the Canadian scene actually is very. You know, the Americans are starting to pay attention. Is one thing that's
Yeah.
particular, and everybody should take advantage of it. And I know everybody will. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But I
yes.
definitely focus on that because certain parts of the United States, even like the Common slash what's the name, Drake's situation they're
yes,
going on. You
yes,
know,
yes.
it doesn't matter who's better, who's not, who's this and who's.
Yeah,
Because at
but
the end
it's
of the
just
day,
showing you a little
there's a
sight,
change of
yeah.
focus, and so Canada has a time when it can actually decide to do what it's got to do,
Yeah.
or lose the grip of the
Yeah.
potential.
They got a little spotlight
you know what I
right
mean?
now,
Like,
you know.
as
So.
a whole, you know what I mean? So I just think that hip hop is everywhere, all elements. You know, if we function in one, like a body, you know what I mean? If you don't have the arm or the leg, then the body can't function the same. You know what I mean? That's how hip hop was, but labels have separated purposely just for financial purposes, but it goes to the destruction of the psychology. Like I said, hip hop is a mental library of things passed down of certain people in certain cultures that identify with it and learn from it. And if you just have a limited subjects, it doesn't matter how many authors you have in that library, the library ceases to function. So I want you to see hip hop as it is, the fifth element, a connected thing with all the rappers, or doesn't mean everybody has to get along, because no, that's not a reality. You know what I mean?
True indeed.
So I ain't saying everybody get along. I'm just saying there's ways where hip hop can free itself
Yeah.
from its
From that hole that's on it.
Yeah,
I
you know
know
what I mean?
exactly what
Yeah.
you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, like I said, man, we're gonna get back to into the music in a few seconds. But I know you have a track. I know you have a track out there. I haven't heard it personally yet, so I'm very interested in what it sounds like.
Well, okay, this is Charlie B, the original Charlie B, you know what I mean, from France / Jamaica, you know what I mean? He's been touring from Jamaica to France to Europe, etc., etc. It's called Forever. It's rising in the charts in France right now.
Yeah.
The video was on YouTube. You can check it out exclusively. You know what I mean?
Exclusive.
This is the first time right now being played, you know, actual from the best quality up
Yeah.
at this station.
Frontline Radio.
2012, you know,
Yes.
Hip
That's how
hop and
we
the place to
doing
be.
it.
Frontline Violent Radio.
Hey,
Stylordz.
before you go, tell them the name. Tell them the name. They can find you on Facebook. You on Facebook, Twitter. and
Stylordz
whatnot.
is the main Stylordz. You know,
Yes.
Stylordz hip hop network, or Stylordz Facebook, or Stylordz MySpace, or Stylordz Twitter. Just
Yeah.
Stylordz, because it's just a multiple incubator. To look at an incubator, you know, incubator pops out eggs. It hatches eggs in different projects, so it's always
Yes,
morphing, you know,
yes.
with time, because it's not. It's not the type of thing, you know, like how a record label promotes people on television. Like I personally stopped watching TV since the year 2000. Never broke that. That was my resolution. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm not saying I didn't see the news or
Wow.
something if I walk, but so like when I do things like art or something, it's automatically gonna be different because I didn't intake the programming kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So like when people want to know where I get my drive from, I don't know where I get my drive from or where I get my motivation from, but
It's
I do know
from
it
within,
doesn't.
right?
Yeah, it doesn't come from like, you know, watching something and then wanting to go do.
Yeah, because everybody have their own
Yeah.
vision. So you
Yeah.
have your own vision with that,
Yeah,
and
you know what
I like
so,
that.
I say so it's just always, for me, it's always an inward focus. You know, like even the breaking, when we went from martial arts to breaking, it was because of the inward focus. It was challenging myself. You know, if you see carefully, if you watch my breaking, for instance, carefully, you will see that I may not have did this certain things, but you can see that in general, most of the moves I've mastered or I've done, or, you know, I could do the popping, the locking, I could do the breaking, the this, the that. You know what I mean? So it's like a shifting, always shifting. You know what I mean? Because nothing stays still, even in nature.
Yeah, man, that's what it is. Yo, once again, big up my dude. You know what it is. Trix came through, blessed us up with a little knowledge, a little insight.
fi shed me blood, want me melt away like fudge. But the Lord, the mommy just tell them avoid me.